Welcome to Unit 1 of Computer Literacy. Let's go ahead and get started. Today's agenda. So we're going to go over a course calendar. We'll do that every class so you guys know where we are at and where you should be. We'll talk about what you should be doing and what you should have already done in this class. We're going to talk about standards and objectives that we'll be learning in this unit. We're going to discuss the Unit 1 topics of what we're going to be learning. We started learning last week and we'll be learning through this week and next week. I'm going to show you how to prepare for the Unit 1.14 unit test. And then I'm going to go over how to complete the assignment 1.15. At the end, I'll answer any questions that you might have. And we'll go from there. All right, so this is our calendar for the rest of August and for September. You'll notice that I have last week on there as well where we started Unit 1. We're currently, let's see, on August 29th, where we have a last class. You should have been doing lessons 1.1 through 1.8 last week. This week you're doing lessons 1.9 through 13 or 14, and then we're taking a unit test on a Friday. Coming up next week, of course, we have a holiday. Monday will be off, that's September 4th, and then we'll have a live lesson on Tuesday the 5th, and then our first assignment 1.15, will be due on September 6th. All right. So that's where we are at and where we're going. So what you should have completed last week, you should have completed, you should have attended our first live class, which was last Tuesday. If you missed that, go back to your Class Connect calendar or look in the class announcement for last week for the link to that recording. You should have completed last week lessons 1.1 through 1.8. And during those lessons, you should have downloaded the course resource folder from lesson 1.1. And you should have downloaded and installed Blue Griffin from lessons 1.01. So if you missed any of that, make sure you go back and cover those. What we should be doing this week. All right, so we're going to, from yesterday, we should have been starting our lessons again, 1.9. We have a live class today, and then finishing lessons all the way through 1.14 through Thursday. Okay, and then our quiz or unit test 1.14 is due this Friday. Okay, again, coming up next week will be our 1.15 due on Wednesday the 6th. So a good overlook of what you should be doing, where you should be at, and where we're headed. All right, this week's objectives, or this unit's objectives, is learn computer software, hardware, and peripherals, memory, and how it is used in the real world. Okay, so our whole goal for basically this class is to apply technology to enhance our productivity. We want to do things bigger, better, and faster. All right, Unit 1 discusses the ins and outs of computers. It's going to cover the basics. I'm not going to go too deep, but it is good to know how a computer works, what's inside of it, and what makes it tick. So what are we talking about? So we're talking a lot about computer hardware, we're talking about peripherals, we're talking about language of computers. Then we get into other things like internet security, copyright, ethics. We're going to talk about peripherals so you know what components of the computer are. So it's an interesting unit. And let's watch a video. It's about 4.5 minutes long or so. It gives a good explanation of the ins and outs, mostly the inside for this video, of a computer. So we'll go ahead and watch that for the next couple minutes. If you are watching this recording or a lesson on a recording, this video will probably not play for you. You can find the video link to this in this week's class announcements. All right, so we got a good view of what the inside of a computer looks like. You'll be learning some of those terms as you read through your lessons last week and this week, but I do have a study guide of sorts for you. I have a Look It game. I have a link here. You don't need to look and copy that crazy link there. You can go into our class announcements for this week. What to do, let's see, what to do in computer literacy for the week of August 28th through September 1st, right? There's a link in that announcement that you can click on that. It's going to take you to the link and you're going to be able to play a game. It's going to ask you all the questions that you're going to need to know for your quiz coming up for 1.14. And when you can confidently answer all those questions correctly, you'll know you're ready for the real test, the 1.14 test. So play the game. You can play it as often as you want. It'll give you the questions and you get to answer them. If you get them wrong, it's going to help you out with the answers so you can learn what they really are, and then you can go take your test. Okay, we're going to talk about for the next couple minutes, we're going to talk about assignment 1.15. I'm going to go ahead and give you a preview of that since it only gives us a day next week after our Tuesday class to get the assignment done. So I wanted to get this ahead in plenty of time for you to do this assignment. So I do need you to pay attention. Assignments need to be saved in the proper way. And the file name is really important. So you're going to save all file assignments like this. You're going to put your last name. You're going to put your student ID. So last name underscore student ID underscore, and then the class code, which is TCH105. It has to be saved like this. I have to turn in work records. And if it's not saved like this, I would have to change it myself, and I can't do that for 160 students. Okay, so it needs to be saved like this. If it's not saved like this, you're going to get a 1 point in your grade book for your assignment, and that's the trigger to me and you saying you didn't save it right. Okay, so even if you do it, this is a requirement for this assignment and every other assignment, by the way. So here's an example. Save it like this. If this was mine, it'd be Ruggles underscore my student ID 545676 underscore TCH105. Do not put anything before this and do not put anything after that. I'm not sure why it's so difficult, but students love to tack on something long. This is the only name of this file. Last name, student ID, TCH105. Don't add anything else to it before or after, okay? You might be saying, well, I can't save every assignment exactly the same. Well, you kind of can. What you want to do is make sure you're saving these files in your computer literacy resource folder under the proper unit folder. Okay, so when you go to save 1.15, open up your course resource folder, go to the student folder, and then go to Unit 1 and save it in there with this name. Now, when we have another assignment and I ask you to save it with this name, you're going to put it in the unit folder number 3. So you can name these the same thing. It's fine. So anyways, please do that. I don't want you to have to keep resubmitting it. I don't want to have to keep grading it. Just save it like that. I hope we got that. Okay, let's take a quick look at assignment 1.5. It's just going to go over the things that we've learned in the Unit 1 lessons. Again, I show you exactly how to save it right in the instructions. So if you follow the instructions, you can't miss it. Okay? And this is going to be on a Word document only. Unless you're using Google Docs and you save it as a Word document, but a Word document only. So question number 1 is going to be in lesson 1.1. I'm going to read this. It just looks like a bad sentence. In lesson 1.01, download the course resource folder and the Blue Griffin software and save them in your computer literacy folder. Did you download the course resource folder on Blue Griffin? So that's going to be a yes or a no. If it's a no, you need to go do it. So that's question number 1. Question number 2, are computers digital or analog? You're going to learn that in your lessons. Question number 3, Number the following data measurements from the smallest to the largest. So what's the smallest data measurement? Let's pretend gigabytes the smallest data measurement. We would put a 1. We should try drawing. We would put a 1 there. If the terabyte, well, let's just say if megabyte was the second smallest, we would put a 2. I don't know what those extra lines are for. If a petabyte was the next smallest, really bigger, we'd put a 3 and then a 4. Whatever the order would be. I'm just not giving away answers. So 1 is the smallest, 4 is the largest. Okay. Number 4, list 5 hardware components listed in the 1.3 lessons. You can list 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, you're going to find those in 1.03 lesson. Okay. Number 5, in a complete sentence, describe what a peripheral is. You're going to find that in lessons 1.04. Describe what a peripheral is in one sentence. Question number 6. From the 1.8 lessons, describe in 2 to 3 complete sentences what is an operating system. Okay. From lessons 1.08, describe 2 to 3 sentences what an operating system is. Then number 7, in 2 to 3 sentences, make it complete. Describe what plagiarism is and what you can do to avoid plagiarism. Plagiarizing someone else. If you're using someone else's work, what do you need to do? And then finally, number 8, in 1 to 2 sentences, describe how you would cite a source in order to use somebody else's work. You can give me an example, you can explain it, however you want to do it. 1 to 2 sentences. And that's it for Unit 1.15 assignment. Okay. All the information comes from your lessons. Do not make up your answers based on your knowledge. Give me an answer from the assignment material. All right, so let's wrap up what we've covered. You want to complete all the Unit 1 lessons by Thursday. You want to use the practice quiz, the game, the Blooket game that I have with the link that's in this week's announcements. Use the Blooket game to practice the test and then complete the 1.14 test by Friday, right? So not that tough of a week, and you get a game to play. So it's kind of fun. We'll see who gets the high score. I'll have to tell you guys who got the high score. It'll keep score and all that good stuff. All right. So that is all I have covering the rest of Unit 1. Next week, we'll do kind of a wrap up of Unit 1 and answer any questions that you guys might have. And then the assignment's going to be due a couple days after that. So that's what we'll do next Tuesday. But right now, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, stick around. But you are free to leave if you don't have questions. I will see you next Tuesday.